Good morning, children. In the previous classes, we have seen how an alternating quantity is generated and the general form of an alternating quantity and some important terms regarding AC quantities. Now, today, let us see how we can represent the values of an alternating voltage or current. In a DC system, we know the voltage and current are constant because it is not varying with time, so that there is no problem of specifying their magnitudes. But in the case of alternating quantities, we know its magnitude varies from instant to instant. So normally there are four different ways to express the magnitude of alternating quantities. They are peak value, peak to peak value, average value, and RMS value. Now let us see what is peak value. Peak value is the maximum value attained by an alternating quantity during one cycle. It is also known as amplitude or crest value. Normally we are notating it with, for maximum current it is IM, maximum voltage or EMF it is EM. Now in the figure you can see that the maximum value is 10 volt. So 10 volt peak. Now next is peak to peak value, or it is also notated as VPP. It is the voltage measured from the crest to trough of the wave, or it is a voltage measured from the maximum positive to maximum negative amplitude. In the figure you can see that maximum positive value is 10 and the maximum negative value is minus 10. So peak to peak value is 20 volt. Next one is the average value. Average value is also known as the mean value. Average value can be defined as it is the average of all the instantaneous values of an alternating voltage or current over a period of time. For an unsymmetrical wave, average value is taken for a complete cycle. So you can see an unsymmetrical wave here. What is an unsymmetrical wave? It is a wave with unequal positive and negative half cycles. So here you can see positive half cycle is larger than the negative half cycle. Such waves are known as unsymmetrical wave. So in such cases, to find out the average value, we are taking the complete cycle. So average value is equal to total or net area under the curve for a time period t divided by the time t. So this is the expression or equation for finding out average value, that is total or net area under the curve for a time t divided by time period t. Now for unsymmetrical waves, for symmetrical waves, symmetrical wave means the positive half cycle will be exactly equal to the negative half cycle. There, if we are taking the average value for a complete cycle, we can see that it is equal to 0. So for a symmetrical wave, only half cycle is considered for finding out the average value. So here you can see we have taken only the positive half cycle to find out the average value. Now here the average value is equal to area of one half cycle divided by base length of one half cycle. This one half cycle is also known as alternation. We know it. So it is area of one half cycle or alternation divided by base length of one half cycle or alternation. Now by using analytical method, we can express it as area of a positive or negative half cycle. Area under the curve can be found out by using this expression. Area is equal to, that is the wave is ranging from, positive half cycle is ranging from 0 to pi. So we are integrating to get the area under the curve, 0 to pi I d theta. If it is current, it is I d theta. So we know the expression for small letter I, instantaneous value is equal to Im sin theta, that we have seen in the earlier class. So area of positive half cycle is equal to 0 to pi, integral 0 to pi I d theta, where I is equal to Im sin theta d theta. So this is the expression for finding out area by analytical method. Now if you are taking the negative half cycle, it will be again pi to 2 pi. That is, the range will be from pi to 2 pi. And here you can see the base length is, we are taking only the half cycle, so base length is pi. So average value for a symmetrical wave is found by taking only one half cycle. Now normally this DC meters, ammeters and voltmeters, they indicate the average value. Next is RMS or effective value. The average value cannot be used for specifying current, voltage or power because we have seen that its value over one complete cycle is 0. So we are introducing another value that is known as effective or RMS value. Effective value of an alternating quantity is that steady current which when flowing through a given resistance for a given time produces the same amount of heat as produced by the alternating current when flowing through the same resistance for the same time. I'll explain these terms. Now consider this circuit. In the first circuit, through a resistor, a DC supply is given, a current, DC current is flowing. And in the second circuit, you can see AC supply is given to the same resistor. Suppose the same amount of current is flowing for the same time period. So you can see that since DC being steady or DC being constant, this will produce more heat. So to compare this, we are taking the case where same resistance and time is also same. What is the current required by this AC supply to produce the same amount of heat in the second case? That is, if DC supply produces a particular amount of heat, to produce the same heat, what is the amount of AC supply? That is actually referred to as the effective value or RMS value. So heat produced must be the same in both the cases. We know heat is equal to I square RT. So for the DC circuit, we can simply write it as capital I square capital R into T. That is, I is the current, DC current, R is the resistance and T is the time. Then in AC circuit, you can see that in AC we know the values of current. It is varying from time to time. So we are splitting it into N terms. That is, at first instant let the current be I1, second instant I2, likewise up to nth instant let it be In. So what is the heat then? I1 square R plus I2 square R plus etc. up to In square R all into T by N. So that will be the heat produced by the second circuit. If these two are equal, we can say that I effective is equal to R and T will get cancelled. So I square is equal to I1 square plus I2 square plus etc. up to In square divided by N, or I effective or IRMS is equal to square root of I1 square plus I2 square plus I3 square etc. up to In square divided by N. So the effective value or RMS value is equal to the square root of mean of squares of instantaneous values of all the currents. So that is how RMS value is equal to root mean square values. Now the RMS value is defined as the square root of means of squares of instantaneous values, and RMS value of a symmetrical wave is equal to IRMS. IRMS is equal to square root of area of half cycle squared wave divided by half cycle base. Or you can take it is equal to area of full cycle of squared wave divided by full cycle base. That is for finding out RMS value of a symmetrical wave. Either you can take the full cycle or you can take the half cycle. Now RMS value of unsymmetrical wave. In the case of unsymmetrical wave, we are taking the complete cycle. That is IRMS is equal to square root of area of full cycle of squared wave divided by full cycle base. For unsymmetrical waves, effective value is calculated considering this complete cycle. AC meters actually read RMS values. Now analytical method of finding RMS value. Root mean square value of any periodic signal x of t is equal to x effective is square root of 1 by t integral 0 to t x square t dt. Now xt can be any value, voltage or current. So let xt be equal to Vt, voltage. That is equal to Vt, we know its general expression is Vm sin omega t. Now V effective is equal to square root of 1 by t integral 0 to t V square t dt. Now next we'll see some important factors. Actually there are two important factors. One is peak factor. Peak factor is defined as the ratio of maximum value to the RMS value of an alternating quantity. That is, peak factor is Im by IRMS or it is Em by ARMS. Now next is form factor. It is a ratio of the root mean square values to the average value of an alternating quantity. It can be current or voltage. Now form factor equals IRMS by I average or ERMS by A average. So I think these topics are clear to you. Now in the next sessions we'll see how we can find out analytically the RMS and average values of different types of waveforms. Thank you for listening.